Hello, everyone. My name is CGscrubs. Thank you for tuning into the second episode of the Scrubs podcast. My name is CGscrubs. Today, with me, I have a guest on for the second episode. And why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi. I'm so nervous.
Sorry.
It's Steph. How's it going?
I'm doing good, Steph. And yeah, let's just get into it. Today we're gonna be having little conversations here and there about a little bit of movies, a little bit of TV shows, and then a special conversation at the end, which is a bit different from the other podcast episode. And that being said, if you haven't seen the other episode of the podcast, I only have one out. Be sure to check out the link in the description below if you are watching the YouTube version, or go to anchor.com or no anchor.fm/CGscrubs, and there'll be a bunch of links to different podcast websites. Main ones including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Be sure to check those out. And yeah, aside from that, let's get this started with the second episode of the podcast. And today we're going to start off with talking about the Star Wars new trilogy fail that has occurred with the last three Star Wars movies that align with the Skywalker saga. I know it's a bit old since that topic has sort of surfaced, but I appreciate Steph's conversation and I when it comes to that sort of topic, and I want to have this documented on the podcast. So, Stephanie, what did you think of the podcast? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Well, sorry. What did you think of the new trilogy as a whole? That being episode 7, 8, and 9.
Honestly, I feel like many people can agree with this that they're like okay movies. I feel like number 9 for us who are really big Star Wars fans is something that we don't speak about.
Right. It's just basura, bro. Like, it's honestly just a big disappointment.
It's basura. It's confusing. It leaves you with a bunch of questions, and it's just something very last minute that was put. Like, yes, obviously we have our classic characters. For example, like Theo, R2D2, and Chewie, which have been there since the beginning. But like everything else is just no.
Exactly. Like, overall, the writing was just terrible. Like, it really did not complement Last Jedi at all. Like, that movie was so divisive, whether you loved it or hated it. I thought I enjoyed it for what it was, and I liked what it was leading up to. But episode 9 just destroyed everything that it was leading up to. With say for example, Rose, the character, people did not like her, so she was barely utilized in episode 9. The concept of Luke disowning the Jedi in general, that was thrown out the window. The concept that Rey was never supposed to be in anyone's sort of lineage to fall back on. Like, oh, she could either be a Skywalker or a Kenobi, like, those theories beforehand. I loved how in Last Jedi they got rid of that notion at all. Like, she's just a normal human being that just happened to be cool. I had these powers or whatever, and like that I thought it was a good setup. But then episode 9 came out. It completely destroyed any sort of likingness I had to that character, because the way she was written was poorly executed. Her being, first of all, spoiler alert if you haven't seen these movies, but these movies are way too old. Don't think I would have had to. But episode 9 with how they did Rey was trash, because her being written as Palpatine's granddaughter raised so many questions for me. My brain cells were destroyed. Like, what did you think about that, Steph?
Honestly, in my opinion, like in the whole trilogy of the last episodes, I just feel like Rey, she never had a character development, in my opinion. I mean, people can say otherwise, but just she was a very neutral character. She's like, oh, I am a Jedi, I have these powers, I need to go find Luke because everybody's telling me that I should. And here and there, slowly, you start to understand Rey, And you have this idea that Rey was just, like you said, just a normal person who happened to have like Jedi powers. But the whole like character in episode 9 was just like that they were trying to make her interesting or have some sort of connection. And honestly, I was very confused when they were like, oh, she's Palpatine's granddaughter. Like, I literally looked at my brother, like, very confused. I was like, since when? How was this, like, ever. Like, who decided to make that a thing? And then
Well,
how, like, literally towards the end of the movie, they're like, she's a Skywalker. Like, she literally is like, I am Rey Skywalker. It's like, no, you're not a Skywalker.
yes, like she didn't earn that name first of all. Like I feel, and going back to like yeah, like she's somehow Palpatine's daughter. My main thing is like when did Palpatine have time to have intercourse with someone, which then those people had intercourse with someone to have Rey. You feel me? Like the timeline is just messed up, and with that sort of notion, like I don't understand how they wanted to make sense with that. Like
Mm-hmm.
it, I felt like they just tried too hard to rectify everything Episode 8 was trying to set up, just because a lot of people hated it. Like I wouldn't have cared what happened in Episode 9 if it was written better. Like if it was somehow pre-established, like say in Episode 8 that Rey was somehow Palpatine's granddaughter, as long as it made sense, it wouldn't have bothered me. But because they introduced that so late, like around like halfway through Episode 9, it just really left a bad taste. Just because I felt like it was unneeded. It was just like oh big reveal number 3000 for the Episode 9 movie. Like it was just unwarranted. And let me talk about Palpatine in general. Palpatine had no reason to come back. What do you think about that? That's how I feel about that. What do you think about Palpatine coming back as a whole?
Like, I feel like you said, I don't think he should have had a part back. Like, he was well gone, and like, not to hate on Palpatine, but like, he's like my least favorite character in the entire saga. So like, just seeing him again and seeing how he had like such a big part in like the last movie, I'm just like, first of all, why couldn't we just kept him dead? Like, why? Like, what is so great about Palpatine that you need to like bring him back? Like, I've never liked his character ever, even in like the original trilogy, like before George Lucas like signed off Star Wars to Disney. Like, I've never liked his character. Yes, he is part of the reason why all of this happened, but I just feel like his character shouldn't have made a comeback, and like I feel like there was more outlets for episode 9. Like, you could have gone a different route, but no, you decide to bring Palpatine back and then somehow make him raise like grandpa. Like, how did that even work? Like, for example, like, I think I've mentioned this before to you in one of our conversations. Like, for example, in The Mandalorian, how they kept wanting to like capture Grogu for like science experiments, or to like use like him to like reproduce like new creatures or whatever. Like, that makes sense. Like, I feel like Palpatine didn't have time to like, do it with somebody, but I feel like he made experiments, and I think I don't quite remember if that was mentioned in episode 9, but like, I just feel like he made experiments, and then like the experiments fell in love and they made Rey. Like, I feel like that would have made a lot of sense, but like, just the entire episode just was a no.
For sure. Like I think I think it would only make sense to say if like Palpatine did experiment, because I believe I told you this before, like in one of the Legends comics, I believe. So you know how in the original trilogy Anakin was born fatherless, like he was just born into his mother essentially, and that was about it.
Mhm.
In the comics, in the legends, so not canon, it was made to be like Palpatine would be the father, because he was like bending with the Force or whatever, and just trying to create the ultimate being, and that spawned Anakin. So I think it would have been cool if they somehow incorporated that into episode 9, just give a little throwback and just be like, oh yes, you're my ultimate creation, Ray, like I built you for this. As long as I was built up to that, I would have been perfectly fine with that. But the way everything went out in episode 9, like you said, it was just bad. Like it was just not executed well. All the characters, or at least most of the characters, regressed in my opinion. And it's just disappointing, especially with it being the last movie in the Skywalker saga, and it diminishes the Skywalker name a bit, especially since Rey took the mantle for whatever reason, even though she she really did not earn it, you know.
And the whole like she was adopted by Luke, like just because you got adopted by Luke doesn't really make you be like, I am a Skywalker. Like,
Was
no.
that confirmed? Like, did Luke was just like, hey, you're my daughter? Like, what are you getting the adoption thing from?
I think that happened in the movie. I'm quite not sure that happened. I watched this movie like almost 2 years ago. But yeah, like why? Just the ending was trash.
Garbage, basura.
Like the entire episode was basura. I feel like it had made no sense. There was no correlation and no like connection everywhere. Which, like, I love Star Wars. I'm not gonna lie to you. Clone Wars. Have not even finished the first season, which I might get canceled for that.
Bro.
But like and like all the like the comics and everything that goes behind like Star Wars. I feel like there's a lot that I've don't know about Star Wars. But as somebody who just like loves the original like saga, I'm just like episode 9 was just a disappointment.
Yeah, it had no real payoff. Like, it just diminished 40 years of work, essentially. Like that's just, it's disappointing to say the least. But yeah, like going back to episode 9 though, I know we were talking about that a lot, but that's the main thing I just don't like about the new trilogy. What do you think about, aside from Rey, the other characters, like say Finn and Kylo? Like, what did you think of them being the main ones and all?
Like Finn, I feel like they should have done more with this character. I feel like his character was like, they didn't do much. Like, for example, that whole thing where like, I gotta tell you something, and then
That was
like
annoying to me, by the way.
that was annoying because, for example, me, I don't really keep up with like interviews or anything, and I don't know who it was where somebody was just like, oh, he just wanted to say he was force sensitive. How
Yeah,
would I know that?
yeah. Like, I think it was a John Bodega, the actor. Like, he just ran up say, yeah, no, he's force sensitive. Like, that's what he meant to say, and I'm like, that's not what the movie, I felt like, was trying to imply. Like, I thought throughout it was like, no, Ray, I love you or whatever. Like, it's like, dog.
See, that that love story would have made perfectly sense because you see how like from the beginning when Finn was introduced to Rey, he's automatically like, I don't want to say attracted to her, but like there's something there, and like throughout the entire like trilogy, he's just he's very protective of her. He's like always there, and that would have made more sense to me. No, they made it to where Kylo and Rey supposedly were in love with each other. And towards the end of the movie, what happened? It just confused me because one, it made me uncomfortable how that even happened. Two, if you're apparently a Skywalker, doesn't that mean you kissed your cousin?
That's what I'm saying. I was thinking that just now. Like, yeah, like you're claiming that name now. It's like, that's gonna be weird, bro. Bro. Skywalkers are weird, bro. Remember in episode 5, Leia kissed Luke. You know what I mean? So like, it's a weird ass family reunion, bro. I mean,
That's
if they were
a,
alive, but yeah.
I think that I don't know why that's a thing, but yeah, like that whole thing bothered me because never did we see like something like that develop between Ray and Ben.
No, I
And
mean
then
in Last Jedi, it was sort of alluding to it.
yeah, but like you're just like I don't see it. Like for example, me, I don't see it. I really don't.
You don't see how there was a connection in the first place, type thing.
Yeah, I just feel like Kylo just wanted fucking to kill off Ray, or
I
I don't
guess
know what his purpose was, but like his like thing was like he always wanted Ray to like join him to the dark side, but not as like a partner, more as of like my right hand man. That's what I saw. Like I seen more of that develop between Ray and Finn, in my opinion.
I would say for that, like more. So I feel like there was more development made for Rey and Kylo, only because I feel like they interacted more with episode 8 and 9. I would only agree with you for like Rey and Finn for episode 7 because that's when they most interacted. You go to episode 8, they almost never spoke with each other until like the very end, and then you have episode 9 where they're there, but nothing came of it. You know what I mean about their quote unquote relationship. So that it ended up being a dud, and I would have been perfectly fine if Rey and Ben ended up together if they continued what they started off with episode 8, because like you said, like even in episode 8, basically you can infer that they're not trying to be together. Like Ben wasn't trying to like get with Rey like that, but like as a right hand man. But like that could have developed more in episode 9, but it didn't. Like it just sort of went back to like trash essentially with how the characters interact with each other, and they just for whatever reason kissed at the end, and I'm just like, that's
And then he died.
yeah, and then he died. And that's just I mean, I don't care that he died. Did I expect him to die? I think I expected him to die only because someone needed to die. I don't know. Just maybe not the way that it all transpired. But definitely in that last fight too was Basura. How many times have we said Basura? Just
How many?
I don't know. I was asking you. It was just that last fight with Palpatine was trash also. And when Rey was when she was like falling down or whatever, she was getting like telepathic stuff from like the Jedi or whatever, and you hear like Obi-Wan, Anakin, I think Luke, even Ahsoka from like the Clone Wars, and it's like, oh, I'm all the Jedi, and I feel like she didn't earn that like at all. Like this trilogy, first of all, the way I interpreted the Skywalker saga was, first of all, so inside note, like I had episode 3 when I was a child on a DVD, and I was playing around with the bonus disc, and I like saw the special features or whatever, and George Lucas confirmed himself that like Anakin was the primary chosen one. He was the one who was supposed to defeat the Sith, and like he stood true to that in a sense, like because in episode 6, Darth Vader killed Palpatine, or at least quote unquote killed Palpatine, and like that was the end of the Sith, which is why when the new trilogy came out, I never saw Kylo as a Sith, just because like the end of the Sith had to have been Palpatine because Anakin Skywalker was the chosen one. He ended it off, and I only saw Kylo as like someone who was trying to be and being raised by Snoke to actually try to be a Sith, but I was hoping it just wouldn't pan out. But the movie was written how it was written. Palpatine came back. Apparently he was a clone, I guess, not even the actual Palpatine. I'm still confused on that, but regardless, it's still dumb, and it just ruined what the other movies try to set up in general. Not even just episode 8, but like the previous Skywalker based movies, specifically ones with Anakin in it. So yeah, it is what it is with the episode 9, man. I know this is the only movie we've been really talking about, but like that was the main one that I just did not like. It's definitely my least favorite Star Wars movie. Period. Like, same for you, Steph.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely. What's your favorite? Put it on wax.
Wait, what?
Like, put it on. Like, what's like? So, if people ask, like, what's your favorite Star Wars movie?
It has to be Revenge of the Sith.
Same, bro. Like, objectively, it's probably not that great, but like, I love that movie growing up, so I'll put it as like my favorite. But if not that, then Episode 5. That one's really well written, and I need to go back and see it though. It's been a while.
Like, out of the entire like Star Wars, I think Episode 3 isn't that Revenge of the Sith? I think so.
Yeah, 3 for instance. Yeah.
It's like my favorite for some odd reason. I can't really pinpoint what it is, but it's just my favorite. But I hate how people are quick to judge Hayden Kirsten for how he portrayed Anakin. But then, like, when you think about it, literally, Anakin is like he wants to prove everyone that like he got this and like everything. So like, so many people hate on Hayden just because of how he acted, but then it's like that's literally how Anakin was written. So I don't really see what is the issue. Like so many people are like, "Oh, he's weird. He's why does he act in that sort of mannerism?" And it's like that's how he was written.
Right. Like I more so blame the direction he was given by whoever told him to make him sound like that, not the actor himself. Like he was just reading his script and how he was told to say it. They let it be in the final cut. I more so blame the production staff on how he was portrayed. Though I loved Anakin in Episode 3, I can understand why people don't like how he was written. But again, I don't blame the actor. I blame the production staff, which is why I say like the best Anakin in my eyes is the one in the Clone Wars, because that show was really well written and how they portrayed Anakin is top notch. And I definitely love his like growth in that show in comparison to the movies, because it's like you go from Episode 2, which I hate that movie also. He's just a bum who's trying to get some Naboo. This podcast is PG-13 at best, so I'm just gonna say like he's just trying to get at Padme, and he just doing it in a weird like a stalkerish type thing. It's like, bro, this is like, I feel like if you're trying to get with her, fine, but like how it was written, it was creepy. And it carries over a little bit in Episode 3, but nothing where it's like disgusting like Episode 2. But yeah, definitely in the Clone Wars, they made the best of it, and they definitely made it work with Padme and Anakin's relationship. And definitely I like Anakin more in the Clone Wars rather than the movies, or at least in the prequel movies. Darth Vader's, he's goated, so I'm not gonna count that. But
Oh, it's Darth Vader.
that's what I'm saying. Like, how can you handle that, bro? Have you? Or, side note again, but have you seen what's that movie? Rogue One. Like,
Yes.
Yeah, that movie. I remember liking it at first, but thinking about it, it's not that great. The only thing that I really, really enjoyed was the ending where Darth Vader just massacred everyone on that ship. Like, I'm sure everyone agrees that's like one of the best scenes in Star Wars, period. Like, dude just came in and just like murked everyone. I'm like, yes, this is Darth Vader at his. He's not even at his full strength. I don't think. Like, we really did not see Darth Vader at his prime. You feel me? Maybe in the comics, but I don't read all the comics. But like in movie form, that was the most we got to see of him, and I feel like that was barely scratching the surface. So if they can incorporate more of those type of scenes in the newer Star Wars movies, I'd be more ecstatic for that than what was previously shown.
I feel like Darth Vader, he just walks around and just orders people, and whenever he does not like it, he just chokes them. Like, that's me.
It's savage. You gotta appreciate that from a Sith, bro.
No, but like I appreciate how he goes about his business, but just the fact that he just like you don't really get much action from him.
Right.
Also, going back to like Revenge of the Sith being like my favorite movie, I just love the ending of when Anakin is transitioning to Darth Vader. Like it's
Right.
just like a clean scene, and it's like aesthetically pleasing, and I'm just like, yo.
Mhm. I, I would agree with that, but like the main thing that I'm thinking of right now is, when he when it was completed, like Darth Vader's complete was completed or whatever. Like he was the first word that came out of his mouth was like, "Hey, is Padme all right? Is she safe?" And then Palpatine was like, "Nah, you killed her." He was just like, "No!" I'm like, "Nah, bro, that ain't it. That ain't it." Like that's the first interaction we technically get canonically from Darth Vader. Nah, that's not it. Like I didn't like his emotion right there. Like uh that was weird to me, but other than that, yeah, the scene was cool, and Darth Vader in general is cool. Uh but yeah, essentially, yeah, that was essentially the new trilogy. I know we rammed off a bit about the other movies, but to express how badly the new trilogy ended up being, we got to show some credit for the prequels and the originals. but,
Exactly.
but yeah,
Episode 9, if you're a Star Wars fan, you know that we never speak about that.
true. It doesn't exist. Like
It doesn't exist.
like
We
make
just
it up.
pretend like we just pretend that it never happened, and whoever dares to speak about Episode 9 is truly not a Star Wars fan. And if you say you like that movie, I'm sorry, get out.
Bro, I
Just
know, I know, decent, bro. It's the fact that
there's
there's at least
people
because
who
I
like
know
them.
people who like the movie. I'm like, the fact that there's even one person that likes this movie is baffling me. Like I know someone who hasn't really seen Star Wars. They liked it. I'm like, you know what? Good for you. Yeah, like if you like trash, go ahead. But then I know some other Star Wars dudes like, yeah, no, I liked it. I'm like, you have no brain cells, my guy. Uh,
Why?
I
Like,
mean, it's your opinion, but like, damn, bro, like I expected much better from you.
like I'm not gonna lie. When the Rise of Skywalker was going to be like screenplayed, like the release date and everything, I took like a whole week, like before the Rise of Skywalker, because like I really like I've only seen like the like episode 4 once, and that was when my brother, like my parents bought him like the entire saga, like, and he like watched it and he got really into it, and so I only watched episode 4. But then once I watched episode 4, I was like, oh my gosh, like I really want to like get into Star Wars. And so like the week before the Rise of Skywalker was released in theaters, like I watched the movie like in order, and I was like, you know what, like after like what was it, The Last Jedi, wasn't that like episode 8?
Yeah,
Literally The Last Jedi, like I saw like the difference in between like each set of 3 movies. Obviously, like the prequels, I didn't really like the first movie. The second movie was okay. The third movie, like I said before, was my favorite. The fourth movie, the fifth and the sixth, obviously you can't beat the originals.
right. They're goaded.
Exactly. And then like once you're getting into 7 and 8, you're just like, okay, see where this is going, like with Ray and everything. But like as somebody who was so like excited to see how it all ended, it's just a really big disappointment, because you're just like, there were so many ways that this could have gone, and for you to just randomly just put things together is just like, what the heck. Like it was almost like a school project that literally you had 2 months to like work on it to make something amazing, and you the night before just wrote something out, posted on like a piece of paper, and like you're like, okay, this is what I came up with. It's like, no.
Right. This is that turn your assignment in by 11:59, but like you have like an hour to do it. Like that's the type of response that I saw with this movie. It just felt underbaked, just not well organized, not well crafted. The people in the group did not put in the work. Y'all half-assed it, and it was just not a good product. And since you gave your little bit of ranking, not ranking each Star Wars movie, but how I view each movie. Episode 1, not great, but At least the lightsaber fight was cool. Episode 2, thinking back, I haven't seen it in a while, but I know it's trash because the greatest thing in that movie was probably the lightsaber fights. But looking back at those were absolutely garbage. Like, they're just flailing their lightsabers, not really choreographed or anything. Episode 3, definitely my favorite aside from 5. Interchangeable is like, episode 3 more so emotional based for me, just because I've seen that movie so many times. I liked Anakin, Obi-Wan, Yoda, this and the third, especially in the fight scene at the end with Obi-Wan and Anakin, top tier. No one's gonna really disagree with that. Episode 4, classic. Episode 5, amazing classic. Episode 6, not as great but still pretty good. And 7, I enjoyed the movie a lot. Episode 8, when I first saw it, I was super excited. Like, I claimed that to be not only my favorite Star Wars movie, but like one of the best movies I ever seen in my life. But the hype, I hyped myself down a little bit. When I saw it again, I'm like, okay, it's a solid movie. I get why people don't like it, but like, I also don't. Like, it's a half and half with me. I just enjoyed it. Episode 9, trash. Most of the recording was just saying episode 9 was trash, bro. Like, we get it. Like, and if you still like the movie, I'm not gonna hate you for it, but it's your opinion, so I'm not gonna dismay anyone for liking anything. That being said, I list my opinions as to why I don't like it. She lists her opinions as to why she didn't like it. If whether you like it or disliked it, if you're watching the video version, let us know in the comment section below. Let us know why you like or dislike the episode 9, how you felt about the new trilogy as a whole, and if you want, give your rankings of the Star Wars movies. And that being said, let's transition to the second part of the Star Wars topic, that being the newer Star Wars movies. There's not much that we can go on about this, but like, what do you expect or what do you want in the newer Star Wars movies that are supposedly coming out?
I mean, by the trailer that you showed me.
Oh, no, not that one. We'll get to that in a second. But I'm talking about like what would technically be episodes 10, 11, and 12, even though they're not part of the Star Wars saga. Did you know about those?
No, this is new knowledge to me.
Okay, so news alert. So a while ago, I think even before Rise of Skywalker finished, they were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna make new Star Wars movies, but they're not gonna be based around the Skywalker saga, meaning anything having to relate to the Skywalkers." And with that new piece of information, is there anything that you would like to see in those movies, in the newer movies that aren't gonna be Skywalker based?
I mean, I don't really expect much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? Like, all of my favorite characters are like dead. Like, the characters died. For example, like C-3PO, they shut him down. You know how sad I was.
Oh yeah, but he got his memory back later, so it just.
Yeah, but like, I feel like it's not gonna be the same. Like, I don't expect those characters, at least like the droids, to show up in the new ones. Like, I don't expect that. Like, I really don't. Yeah, I mean, you can hope for the better. Like, you're just like, oh, that's interesting. Or like, maybe some new information can be cleared up. For example, episode 9, there's a lot of shit to be cleared up.
Right. Just give me a whole movie as to why their thought process was, oh yeah, we made episode 9, and this is our thought process as to why. And once we disagree and burn down the Disney studio, we can live about our days knowing that we won't be able to see them making any more Star Wars movies. But yeah, for these new movies, I just want them to be good. Like, it's a low barrier to entry for these movies, but I just want them to be good. Give like writers like whoever wrote The Mandalorian some insight on these new Star Wars movies, because
Wasn't it Dave Filoni?
I think it was Dave Filoni, yeah. So
Dave Filoni literally is like, should be the person in charge of these new Star Wars, because I'm not gonna lie, The Mandalorian, I didn't expect much from The Mandalorian, but like, he really did exceeded that expectation of mine. And like, spoiler, if you have not seen the last episode of season 2, which you should, Probably too many. It's like my favorite episode because you get to see Luke again and you get to see R2D2, and just it was a very cute moment, although it was very sad. But like, yeah, I think he should like take up like his place doing these new Star Wars movies because he actually knows how to develop like good character. Like for example, Din Darjan. I thought, how can you like make character development with this character? And he did. Like he literally had more character development than Ray did, and that says a lot. So
Wait, who'd you say had more development? The Mandalorian. I forgot his name. Din, was it?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, like he showed more range of motion than Ray, and he had a mask on for the entirety of the time.
exactly. Like you felt it. You felt his emotion, and he had a helmet on the entire most of the.
Right, like most of the time, yeah.
Which the person who plays Din, aka Pedro Pascal, it just became like my favorite actor, and he's like amazing. And I love how like his character, how he plays, is like so serious. But then when you see him in interviews, he's actually like this goofball. But that's beside the point.
Right. Yeah, shout out to the actor. Shout out to everyone who made the Mandalorian, bro. Like season 2, I didn't think was that great in comparison to season 1, though that could have just been like season 1's hype. When it was originally coming out, I was like, oh, new Star Wars show, but it's so cool, so cool. Season 2, when it started, I was like, it's all right, but I think it slowly, progressively got better. And yeah, just overall, they have good writers, so people who make the Star Wars movies take notes. And yeah, just overall, I just hope best for the newer Star Wars movies that are coming out. I think one was supposed to actually release this year or next year, but we didn't see any trailers for anything. We're probably not going to see anything for a while because, you know, COVID was a thing, or is a thing, so it is what it is. I'm fine with waiting however long, and
Unless it's decent. I don't really expect much, but I hope they're at least decent. Where you're like, okay, I see. At least some of my questions have been answered.
right, like I'm gonna see it regardless because, you know, I'm a Star Wars fan. I gotta support. But you know it. Yeah, obviously, yeah. Just hope for the best in terms of those movies, and we'll actually transition into the next topic, which is the TV show of the Star Wars movie. Not the Star Wars show that we recently just saw the official teaser trailer on, was Star Wars Visions, the anime inspired show. And based on what we've seen, what do you think will come of it, Steph?
Honestly, it just looks very interesting. And like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I've seen like at least 2 animes shows in my life, but
I'll give you a whole list later.
but like, as somebody who loves Star Wars and who has been wanting to like dip their toes in like watching like the anime styled like animation, I think it's gonna be interesting. I'm curious about what the story is about to be about, which I'm sure like in the teaser it like showed, but it was really interesting overall. So
Definitely same here. Like I had high hopes before, like once they mentioned that Star Wars Visions was going to be anime based, and from what we've seen, I'm definitely gonna be putting my eye out for it. And yeah, so for what we've seen, it was just so many characters that were shown in that official trailer teaser. It makes me think like they're gonna be their own self-contained stories for each episode, and like, so we'll have like an episode centered around one character, anime style, and this planet we get to see how they live, and then probably the same thing with another character, this, that, and the third. So yeah, if it goes in that way, I'm definitely for it. If it goes any sort of way, I'm definitely for it. I'm gonna watch it regardless. I definitely want to support this here. With this anime, because I'm a big anime. I'm not a big anime fan, but like I've seen a decent amount of anime where I'm just like, I like the media because they have more mature, darker tones than say like other animated stuff that you would see in the West or whatever. So yeah, I'm really interested in seeing what they come of with Star Wars Visions. I think it's gonna be great from what we've seen, and I think it's coming in September. So yeah, definitely hoping for the best for the show. Definitely gonna put my eye out for it. And again, I'm gonna send you the list of anime you should watch. Our other friend, you know who he is. He could probably give you a bigger list than me. But
thank you. I'm taking a break from school, so that is very well appreciated.
True. Hey, we can watch some Naruto after this. You know what I mean? I know it's long. It's only like 700 episodes, bro. You got it.
Wow.
You can skip like half of them. You can skip like half the show though, because do you know what filler is?
No.
All right, so filler is basically anime episodes you don't have to watch because they weren't part of the original story. Because most anime is based on like manga, which is like Japanese comic books. So so you really only have to watch those episodes that are based off the manga. So you can skip like half the show, but we can get the ball rolling. But other than that, let's go to our next topic, which all right. So I might put a disclaimer. This may be divisive. That being said, it's our opinion, guys. It's say we can have a healthy discussion about the next topic that we're about to discuss, or whether it was a serious conversation or not. It could be about Star Wars. It could be about our next topic. Keep in mind, it's our opinion. You're feel free to disagree, and we can have a healthy discussion. But that being said, let's get into the next topic. I literally just have this title as man versus woman, and I want to give you the floor on this, Steph, since you wanted to bring about this topic. So what specifically about man versus woman did you want to speak upon?
Well, let's just start off about something that a man told me once, and which is about like the gym, which I'm sure you can relate to this because you go to the gym as well. But like I started the gym in like January, and I go to the gym with my brother, and for many reasons, which maybe we can talk about this later on, I decided to join him. And I'm not really an expert at weightlifting. I'm really not. But like I work out with my brother, and like I basically just work out the exact same way he does. We do the exact same workout, just obviously with different weight. And I change it up a bit so that it can kind of fit to what I'm working towards. And this dude told me that I should change up my workout, that I should not follow my brother's exercise routine, that I shouldn't be like just basically he literally told me this, that what my brother was doing is a man's workout and that a woman should not do it, or to his knowledge it wasn't something that I should be working towards. And to me, I don't know if he meant it to like explore and like try to like be on my own when it comes to exercising, but to me it just rubbed me the wrong way, because like first of all, why is it any of your business of what I want to work on? Like, yes, I've changed at least a little bit of the exercise routine to where it fits what I am working towards, but like obviously depending on the protein you take, that's how you develop your body. Depending on how, that's how you develop your body. Like there's many factors to what you want and what you're working towards besides working out. And like I love working out with my brother. Obviously, it's like literally one of the many things that we have in common, and it had developed like a stronger bond between. And like that's why I don't want to say I'm scared to venture out, but just why I have not completely changed my workout. But back to the man versus woman thing. why why do we gotta label that? Why does it have to, like, why certain things have to be, oh, only a man can do that? Like lifting heavy. Like I've seen like women at the gym, at specifically my gym, they're like almost in their 70s and they are literally bodybuilders. Like I've seen like these teenage boys go up to these women and be like, yo, like, what is your back routine, what is your arm routine, what is, because like, you know, but they never, like, probably out of respect, never been like, oh my god, like, why are you exercising like a man, why are you lifting like a man? And it's like, why is it any of your business? You know. And there's things like that, like my experience of like, just because I am a female, people think that it's like they can like comment and be like, no, you can't do that because you're a female. Why? Like, why do I need to like follow whatever stereotypes have been placed over many years? You know, like even to this day, like women can't do something without a man being like, you can't do that, while they do the exact same thing, and then when they do it, there's no issue. So what is the point? Like, what is the reason?
Right, like going back to, you said this a couple times, like the minding your own business thing. I heavily identify with that. It's like I'll do your, do you do me, like do just be yourself. Like I don't understand why people got to be up in other people's business like that. Like just mind your own business, bro, and just keep it moving. Even if you think that person is doing something wrong, it's their life. Let it be, bro. It's not that deep. But yeah, like I don't get the mentality of, oh, this is specifically for men and this is specifically for women. If they are physically able, I don't see the issue. Like I there's probably so like like scientifically speaking, right? Women are technically weaker than men physically. However, comma, if there are men who can bench press more than another man, I'm not going to be like, hey, you can't do that. Obviously she can. She's doing the activity right now, so she's pushing boundaries, so I commend her for that. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying, I'll just aim to be like you or be better than you, but not be better than you like, oh, I gotta be better than one, but be better as in like, you know, healthy competition. Like, you know, oh, you're doing great, you know what I'm saying, I'm being better than you, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna level up together type thing. So yeah, definitely, like with the guy who came up to you say, hey, you can't be doing these workouts, it's a man's workout. I don't think workouts are gender specific. At least most aren't. I think there was like one maybe where it's like, I think it's like something with your hips. You go to LA, I'm not sure which exercise, what it's called, but like you put your legs, you basically squeeze them, and then I'd have to show you a picture, but essentially I think that's more of a woman's exercise, if I'm not mistaken. I could be. A man could physically do that if they wanted to too, but I think it's more so for a woman's exercise because it's more flexible, and I guess women need to be flexible. I don't know. I don't do that exercise, but that being said, with what I usually do, which is bench press, deadlift, squats, whatever, if a woman is able to do it, then she can do it if she wants to, and if she does it at a higher weight, then good for her. Like I see no issue with like women wanting to do what they want to do. I guess like if a man can do, like, so if a woman is able to do something that a man can't, I don't see the issue of letting that woman do what she could do. Like, you know what I mean? Just don't be like a butt wipe and saying, hey, you can't do this. This is a man specific thing. That's just being that's problematic, and it's just a really old way of thinking that needs to be reformed. Women can definitely do a lot. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like, obviously, when women, well, to what we've seen, when women go to the gym, they tend to work more on legs and squats and just everything that has to do with their lower body, because obviously that's where we are stronger in, obviously, because if you want to birth out a child, you gotta like, kind of have like that strong pelvis almost, and have like strong legs and like just everything lower body. you know Women tend to be stronger in their lower body, and that's what we tend to work on, because obviously for physique and for like kind of like that Kim K body that everybody wants.
That's plastic though. That's not anything working out, bro.
uh, the idea.
I guess that's
Like,
unproportional, but
but like, women tend to work on their lower portion more than their upper body. Me, on the other hand, because of something that has, I wanted to be stronger. Like, I wanted to be seen as somebody who, is able to like stand up for themselves physically. Because obviously, verbally, I can, because you know me, I've done it before. But physically, how I would like, my words never matched to my person. I was this 95-pound, very small and scrawny little woman. And due to an experience that happened to me almost 2 years ago, like, I could not defend myself. And that is the main reason why I want to go to the gym. And like, that is the main reason why, like, I'm like, you know what? If I can lift, then that's great. If I can do this, then that's great. Besides trying to get that hourglass figure or whatever, I want to be like physically strong and to look like, in case of anything, I am able to defend myself. So for some man who thinks that it's okay to be like, oh, you can't do that because, it's a man's workout. Why does it have to be a man's workout? Yes, men tend to bench. Men tend to, work on back, work on arms, work on their upper portion more. And, like my brother, he tends to work on his upper body more. And, like, for example, chest, he repeats chest like twice a week. I take out one day of chest and replace it with legs. That is how I tend to change up the workout. But I feel great knowing that I can like lift and I can like do a pull up and just, stuff like that, because it makes me realize that every day I'm getting stronger. But for a man to come up to me and be like, that's a man's workout, it's like, yo, first of all, none of your business. Why do you care? It's not your body at the end of the day. Like, I know what to eat and what not to eat. I know what protein to take and what protein not to take, so that I know what I'm going to look like in the process. And like, so why is it your problem? Why is it your problem of what I'm working on? Like, literally, I try to I try to like incorporate strength training, because obviously, and he had a problem with it. He'd be like, oh, you're just strength training, you're not really working on like the physique. And it's like, yo, yes, people go to the gym for like many reasons. Obviously, everybody has their own reasons why they join the gym. But like, this person knew that I was trying to get stronger. I was trying to like not be so weak and then work on the physique. So for him to be like, you're just strength training or you're doing a man's workout, it's kind of like degrading almost. And I'm just like, why do you feel the need to like comment on that? The need to an opinion where your opinion is not going to make a difference.
Right, it's like you didn't ask him. Like, he just walked up to you, right? And he was like, hey, you're doing this wrong. I was like, dog, like, let me do me, bro. Like you don't know what I'm going to the gym for, type thing. So how about you mind your own business? You know what I'm saying?
And
Now I would understand if like now again it technically wouldn't be his business, but like if you were like, hey, you're doing this a bit wrong, your form's a bit off, if you wanted to help you, that type of thing, because that happened to me before, like where it's like I was doing something wrong, but someone's like, hey, no, you're doing that wrong, do it like this. I'm like, oh, okay, appreciate that, thank you for the help, Jim bro. So if he was just trying to help you with that sort of thing, cool, just like improving on form, because form was more important than uh how much you could lift or whatever. But if he just came up to you and was just like, nah, you shouldn't be doing that at all, because that's what I think you're going for, that's not what you're trying to do. Like, you're a woman, you have to do this, that, and the third. I'm like, dog, you don't know what she's going for, you know what I mean? So mind your own business, do did you come to the gym really today to mess with someone else? You know what I mean? Or what are you paying X amount of money a month for, to belittle women on like trying to better themselves? If so, you're a bum. You know what I mean?
exactly. And like another thing too, like I'm not gonna lie to you, like depending on the time that I go to my specific gym, like in the morning, I seen women just bodybuilding, like doing chest, doing back, doing arms and everything, and I'm like, that is a freaking great. I'm not the only one. But when I go at night where there's a bunch of teenagers and like it's mostly like dudes in like their teens and in their 20s, literally it feels very strange, because then I see other teenage girls and they just look at me weird. They're like, why is she like bench pressing? And it's like, yo, why? Like,
why do you care? Like, do you mind your own business, bro?
exactly. Like, literally, I swear, like, gym girls, not gym women, okay? Because I've met some older women who are like the nicest people ever at the gym. But like gym girls, like teenagers or like people in their 20s, like some of them, majority of them are mean as hell. And I was even told, like, why do you hang out with like gym bros? Why shouldn't you, like, you should have like a female gym buddy? And it's like, why can't I be friends with my gym bros? They make me feel comfortable. They make me feel like I'm one of them. Why do I feel the need to like try to be friends with a girl who is probably fake as hell? Because like, I don't want to say majority, but like I feel like the ones that I've came across, they're like mean as hell, or they're just rude, or they're entitled, and I'm just like, yo.
And they just come up to you and just say whatever.
No, but like they give me like dirty looks.
Ah.
And it's like, why are you giving me a dirty look? Or like, for example, like the other day, I forgot what day it was last week, I were gonna do arm raises, but like I usually use like 5 pounds. Don't judge me for those in the comments. So I usually use like 5 pound dumbbells for this specific workout, and I don't know why my gym is always missing dumbbells. Like literally, you try to use 15s and there's none. There's never, from like 10s to like 20s, it's like gone.
I
And
feel
I
like
found,
also, quick side note, I feel like if we, because I don't go to LA often, but I go with a friend, and she usually takes me. If it's the same specific LA, then I I definitely feel you. But continue.
but yeah, so like I went searching and like there was like a pair of fives near like these two girls who were like, I think they were like doing like ab workouts. And I asked them nicely, I was like, hey, like, are you guys using these? Literally, the girl gave me like the dirtiest look, and she's like, does it look like we're using them? And I'm like, first of all, that was unnecessary. Second of all, oh, you could have said no, you can use them. Pero like, yeah. And then when they saw me like doing like, workouts that usually guys would do, they're just looking at me weird, like, what the heck?
Yeah, they just hating. They hating on your future successes, bro. Don't mind them. Do you?
Exactly. But like, why do people need to feel the need to label what a man and what a woman need to do or what they can? Yo, if a man can do it, I can do it. You know, there's to a certain extent where women can do what men can. Like, men can't carry a child, man can't birth a child. Like, like we can do that, but like we're not over here being like, oh, you guys can't birth a child, you guys can't do this, you guys like no.
Right, like it's not that big of a deal, like in terms of competition. Like, just, well, what we're able to do, we're able to do it. You know what I'm saying? Let's not let it be gender specific when it comes to what we do. Like, uh it just varies. So yeah, specifically for the gym, yeah, definitely, like, if women want to increase their weight to what, big body men want to do, if she's able to, then go for it. Just that, because that's just limiting someone's potential. Like, if that guy, if what that guy said to you was resonating with you, you wouldn't be as strong as you are currently. So like, his energy would have just limited you in the long run, and that's not good. That's just toxic energy. You know what I'm saying? So definitely be the best you can be, and if you know what I'm saying, just don't let your gender just be a hindrance. Let it uplift you, I guess. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Speaking of the gym, I'm not gonna lie to you, whenever I do back, I'm like, damn, I feel like a badass. It's specifically back days where I'm just like, I feel like if anybody dares to say anything to me, I'm like, shush.
What I want to do now is like incorporate splits, because I've mainly just been doing full body. It's just been hard to go to the gym. Like, I have like specific heart issues going on, so that's part of the reason. But also, I usually go to Planet, and pretty much everything is being used by the time I go, so that ticks me off. So I just gotta make it work to where if I want to do splits, I just gotta fully make time for it. But what I've been lately doing is using a weighted jump rope, and just doing like some full body exercises after I do a certain amount of reps, and just progressively getting better. So just making it work, no matter how or what equipment I use. And yeah, like, it's, even if it was a lower weight jump rope or a higher weight, it's not going to dictate, or my gender is not going to dictate how much I'm able to do. It's just my will and my strength or whatever. So yeah, that's basically it for that. Like, all in all, it doesn't matter your gender. You can push through no matter which genitalia you have.
Exactly. Whatever the hell you have there does not define your capability of doing things. And like, obviously, the world every day, even though there's still many issues, like, people are still getting to be opened. Like, I am not going to lie to you, when I started the gym, my dad was very worried because he's like, you are a lady, you're not supposed to be doing this, you're not supposed to be doing that. And he just thought I was gonna be like this big ass bodybuilder. And after a while, when he noticed like my progress, he's like, okay, I can see it, you're you're not gonna be this humongous person. And it's like that. Like, for example, they expect women to be like strong minded, that they need to stand up for themselves, and that they need to say no when you have to say no. But then, like, women get taken advantage of. Women can't even go out and about on their own. Women can't go out on the street without being catcalled. Women have gone through things, and I'm sure men have gone through similar things. But because of how society works, they can't even speak up. Or when they do, it's like, oh, well, you're not a man because you spoke up about it. It's like, what? Like, when women speak up about their experiences, it's like, oh, well, you should have said no, or you should have done something. But then, like, when we do something, it's like, no, you can't do that. You can't, like the very heavy topic. when women speak up about it, it's like, well, you should have done something. And even after that incident happens, when they do something about it, where, for example, like, I'm gonna use myself as an example. I decided to get stronger physically because I wanted to be able to defend myself. The moment I am lifting and I'm getting like I'm lifting heavier and doing these exercises that quote unquote only a man can do, it's like, well, that is what I can do at the moment. That is what I'm able to do. And like, it's a way for me to like stand up for myself. And now you're trying to like downplay me and be like, no, only a man can do that. It's kind of very hypocritical. It's like a man. Whenever he speaks up about anything that's happened to him, it's like, well, you're not a man because you didn't take it like a man. It's like, yo, men have feelings too. Men can speak up about instances, and I don't. I feel like nobody has the right to be like, well, you should have done this, you should have done that. You're not a man because you spoke up about it. It's like, no, that person already went through enough as it is. Like,
You're just belittling them even further. Like, come on now.
exactly. It's like, I don't want to like go into this topic because it's very, very mature, and I feel like some people will get triggered. But
That's their problem.
yes, so like, why when stuff like that happens, based on like stereotypical like assumptions and just stuff like that, I feel like stereotypes have had like a huge like what you call it take on that. Like, oh, like women are supposed to be strong minded, but like physically they need to be dainty and fine and like all this, they have to be like delicate. No.
That's
Why do
that's
I
that's just weird. That's conditioning the brain to something that shouldn't really be the case. Like, you know what I'm saying? What women can be strong, women can be smart. Let it be the case if they are able to. Don't limit because someone else told you, my guy. Like, bro, like, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't get that conditioning with the mindset. Like, it's I guess I'm better off growing up in this generation because like things are more open sourced, open minded, or whatever. So we're able to further adapt and learn from, you know, our elders' mistakes. So we can definitely learn from them. It's just that, you know, the older generation still are able to teach their newer offspring, and that's, you know, still going to be an issue from years on end. Will this mindset be eradicated? In my opinion, like all forms of prejudice, no, probably not. Like, there's still probably going to be prejudice, you know, against men versus women, upon race. I don't think racism's ever going to end. Any sort of conflict, any sort of conflict like that is just not gonna go away, at least not easily. So it is what it is at this point. But I just hope for better mindsets throughout the years where it can at least be lessened. You know what I mean? Uh, you know, I would just hope for the best in terms of that. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. Shout out to women. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful queens. Shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to my strong, abled men. You know. You know what I'm saying? Gotta give credit to y'all too. You know what I'm saying? Love y'all. Love y'all. Love all y'all. But yeah, was there anything else you wanted to add upon that specific subject, or do you had another subject in general?
No, I think that's it.
All right. If that's all, then, you know what I'm saying? Well, I don't know how long we've been recording, at least an hour. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for episode 2 of the podcast. Was there any signing offs that you wanted to do, Steph? Anything you want to say?
I appreciate you having me be a guest star. I really enjoyed this. Hopefully you have me back.
True. Most definitely.
And if you like mature topics and just very stuff like this, I will like to have a conversation because I feel like I like to share my perspective, and I'm curious about what people are gonna say. And hopefully my voice does not sound bad in this recording because Not gonna lie, self-conscious about that.
Dude, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, definitely enjoyed you having on the second episode of the podcast. I've just been lacking in terms of making these episodes, whether it be to lack of news or just motivation in general, or I'm busy, whatever. But definitely glad you were there to help with the podcast. Give another perspective. That's what I wanted. That's what I said in the first episode. So at the first episode, I was like, yeah, I want people to join in, give more perspective on things, so it's just not just me, keep things more interesting. And you definitely did that for this episode, so I appreciate you coming on. Hopefully we'll have more topics to discuss. So yeah, definitely, bro, appreciate it. And yeah, again, thank you, Steph, for joining on the podcast. Thank you for all who listened this far. And yeah, thank you all for listening, and have yourselves a good night or day. Bye. Or whatever, I don't know when y'all listen to this. Just have a good day in general.